Are you thinking of moving to Coral Springs? Stay tuned. In this video, we are going to go over exactly the pros, the cons, and what it is like to live right here in Coral Springs, Florida. If you are thinking about moving down here to Coral Springs or the surrounding areas, we have people reaching out to us all the time with questions. They want to move down here as soon as possible, or they want to move down here in the future. If anything like that comes up for you, give me a call in the description down below or shoot me an email. Also, hit that like and subscribe button because we're putting out new videos every single week, so you can look forward to those. So one of the first pros about living here in Coral Springs is that it is an excellent family town. Coral Springs overall, many people own their own homes here. If you are moving from out of state and you're not sure if you can see yourself living here or not, there are plenty of great rental communities that would be definitely suitable for you and your family. Overall, Coral Springs is safe, very well kept, and it really is a beautiful city. So what would you and your family be doing here in Coral Springs? Well, Coral Springs is known for its parks. We have Mullins Park, Betty Strandley Park, Forest Hills Park, Orchid Park, and a lot of these parks have, volleyball nets, basketball, tennis courts, places to barbecue. We even have a skate park here as well. So there's a lot of things to do with kids and the family here. We also have very beautiful nature walks. My favorite being the Everglades walk. It is a massive part of the Everglades. You can walk through this with you and your family. It doesn't cost you anything. What you'll see is beautiful birds, beautiful nature, beautiful sunrises, beautiful sunsets, and if you get lucky, you might even see a gator, and I promise they will not bother you. It is very cool to see. So now, for my mothers that will be shopping out there, for your families, we have Publix, we have Trader Joe's, we have Sam's Club, and we have a Costco. So you're not going to have to travel to, there's also Walmart's close. You're not going to have to travel very far or, make these long grocery treks like my mother used to do in New York. Everything is, very close here, and, it makes things very easy to shop for you and your family. So let's talk about the schools. Now, I talk to a lot of people who always want to move into Coral Springs for the school district, whether they're coming from out of state or whether they already live here in Broward County and want to, upgrade and, take their kids to the Coral Springs district. Coral Springs has excellent rated schools, and also parts of Coral Springs are even, like those zoning territory lines for Parkland schools, which are even better than Coral Springs schools, but obviously that depends where you live in Coral Springs. Overall, you can definitely bet on your children getting a great education here in the school district. There's also plenty of charter schools around as well. Another thing also is that Florida sometimes gets a bad rap for its school district, but I pulled some research because I knew this was true, but not many people do. Florida ranked 14. What does that tell you? Florida schools have dramatically improved, and they are now, I would say, one of the top schools here in the country. Now let's talk about the weather. So we are here, and it is, December/January, right, coming into the new year. I was actually just in New York, and my family always tells me, it's warm here, it's not too cold, it's not too bad. When I got to New York, it was around Christmas time, there was a massive cold front, and I was getting hit with a little bit of hail, and the wind was whipping like crazy. It had to be 10 degrees, and I was freezing. Here in Florida, you're not going to get that. What you're going to get here in Coral Springs is maybe a cold front of 1 week, if that, right? Other than that, you're going to walk outside, and majority it's going to be 80 degrees and beautiful sunshines. The humidity is definitely not bad like people say. It is something you will 100% adapt to. And if you are coming from any of the northern states like New York, Massachusetts, Maryland, Illinois, right? This is, things that you've already experienced, right? This is not some superhuman humidity heat that only a few people can survive in. You can definitely do it when you head down here to Coral Springs. Now, the food and the small business here in Coral Springs is phenomenal, right? You have a lot of small business here, a lot of pizza places, a lot of coffee shops, ice cream places, Chinese food. If you like food, this is the spot. If you go down Sample Road, if you go down Wiles, if you go down University, there are a bunch of places to go and eat at. Overall, my favorite places, again, I'm from New York, so pizza is important to me. I love pizza time here in Coral Springs. It is fantastic. And I also love Vito's Pizza here. They are open until 3 a.m. This is a shameless plug because I'm usually ordering that late night pizza, and I gotta get my fix in. Other restaurants here around Coral Springs, you have a BurgerFi, you have a Five Guys, you have a Tap 42, which is fantastic food. You have a brewery, or two breweries actually. You have Chipotle's right here. Wings Plus, which you can go and get some of the best wings you've ever had. You have Four Rivers Smokehouse. You have El Marachi. You have the Cook and the Cork. You have I Heart Mac and Cheese. Coral Springs Diner. You have First Watch Breakfast. And my favorite place of all, Sakura Sushi. Big sushi eater. What else are you going to get here in Coral Springs? So a lot of, stereotypes about here in Florida, especially Coral Springs, is that it's very slow and everything's slowed down. And, people come here to die and totally retire and basically just give up on life. Let me tell you first, I come from New York again, and this is all I've heard my entire life, that Florida is God's waiting room. Are there a lot of old people here who pass away? Yes, that is true, but I can tell you right now, Broward County and Coral Springs is a fast-paced environment. So if you are still looking for more of like an uppity pace and people getting things done and, traveling to work and being around, younger professionals who are also, on the same mission that you are. Coral Springs still gives off that atmosphere and that vibe 100%, and it definitely is not the place to, totally slow down and totally just, let life pass by. Let's talk about those cons. So living here in Coral Springs, although there are many pros, we do have some cons here. One of the cons is that Coral Springs is becoming very populated. What comes with more population? More traffic. So, around 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock, Monday through Friday, if you're traveling on the Sawgrass, traveling from Miami back up here to Coral Springs, or if you're traveling from east to west coming back to Coral Springs, because we're kind of in the corner of Broward, you can definitely expect some heavy traffic. That's what you get here now because there's a lot of people moving down here from, all other places of the world and all other places of the country. So another con of Coral Springs is that it's far from the beach, right? My mother always said, if I move down to Florida, I want to be on the beach. Well, living here in Coral Springs, you're not going to get that. I believe the closest beach, and the beach I mostly attend, is Deerfield Beach. It's about 25, 30 minutes away. It is definitely a beautiful beach, but, again, it's a 25, 30-minute drive. You can't just take your, bike out of your house and go to the beach or just take a little stroll by the beach. You're definitely farther away from the beach. The other con of living here in Coral Springs is that you're far from the action, right? You're maybe an hour away from Miami, downtown Miami, which has, plenty of beautiful places to hang out in, especially, Brickell area, around there. You're like 40 minutes away from downtown Fort Lauderdale, where I personally used to live, which is plenty of restaurants, so much to do, just giant strips of just all restaurants and, people having fun and enjoying great food, and you're also very close to the beach over there in Fort Lauderdale. Here in Coral Springs, you're kind of in the corner of the county again, so you're kind of out there. You're kind of away from, again, downtown Fort Lauderdale, downtown Miami. If you wanted to go up to Delray Beach, that's still a trek too. And downtown Boca Raton is still a little trek as well. So for Coral Springs being tucked away in that corner, although it is a great place to live, you are, far away from the action. And the last con of Coral Springs here, I would say, is the pace and the price, okay? So if you're coming down here from out of state and you're looking to retire, Coral Springs can be a good fit for you. The thing is, though, is that it tends to be a little pricier. Home values range now from like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, even up to, $1 million plus here. You can also get some condos, maybe around, 300, 400,000 or townhouses. If you are 55 and over, there are other options around that are a little cheaper than that as well. Also, if you are looking for that, West Coast, Naples, Fort Myers, slow, laid-back atmosphere, that is not what you're going to get here in Coral Springs. What you're going to get is more of like a young professional or, new family, or the families who have lived here for 20 years, husband and wife, making ends meet. I would say middle class, upper middle class atmosphere, and people still, going to work, getting after it. And so again, if you're looking for that very relaxed, very slow paced, I would definitely tend to look at the west coast of Florida other than the East Coast. Alright guys, well, I appreciate you watching the pros and cons of living here in Coral Springs. My last thoughts, overall, I love Coral Springs. I think it's an amazing place to live, and soon in the future, I myself look forward to raising my family here someday. We put out new videos every week. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and I'll see you next week.